How's it going, guys? I am Matthias, and today I'm going to be reading your comments. Today I'm reading your comments all about your biggest accidents. Before we begin though, a question of the day for a future episode is, what is your weirdest dream that you've ever had? And, type it out. Let me know about it. Give me the deets. So leave that down in the comments below. Also, remember to stay to the very end of the video because I will tell you my biggest accident. Because it's a doozy! When I was in the 2nd grade of school, we were in the computer room in class and the class had ended and it was recess, so I was walking to the exit and fell right on my face. All the other 20 kids ran to the exit and ran over me. Once they had all run over me, I stood up with my face wet in tears and I turned around. 2 teachers were there all the time and they had been laughing at me. Whoa, what the heck? What a bunch of jerk teachers. Am I right? My biggest accident was when I was climbing in a tree house near my house. I was about 7, no one was around, and I had a bottle of water that I spilt and then slipped on. I fell down the tree and the collar of my shirt got caught on a broken branch all the way down, effectively hanging me. I couldn't get my shirt off or lift myself up. After 5 minutes of screaming and crying, someone found me and managed to get me down. I still climb that tree today. Well, I'm glad you got over that fear of hanging yourself. When I was 12, I was bored and wanted to make some tea. Long story short, I set the tea on fire and the house nearly burned down. True story. When I was at summer camp, I was running around with 2 other kids, then me and the girl run into the girls' bathroom, and somehow my finger got stuck inside the part of the steel door, and then I kept pulling it, so I stretched my finger and the whole nail came off. Not the first time. I have a big scar now. Are these just all gonna be just like painful accidents again? I mean, an accident can be something that's not painful. My biggest accident I ever had was in the 7th grade when my school took us to Bryce Canyon. We were in the gift shop of the hotel and I was looking at some rocks that were carved to look like bears. I knocked one over and they made me buy it. It was $50. My biggest accident ever was when I was a little kid. I was around 7 and my cousin was just born. I picked him up, started spinning with him. It's getting real bad. I tripped and fell, but he never got hurt because I put both my hands on his head and my head slammed on the ground. Yep. Well, I mean, good for you though, protecting, your little cousin. My brother was launching broken pieces of tile. I went to run to our shed to get something to play with. I ran in front of my brother right as one of the tiles he launched was about to land. Long story short, I had to go to the emergency room to get the cut in my head closed. Yikes. I still have a scar on my head. My biggest accident, I almost stabbed my sis while cutting my cake. My biggest accident was when I was scootering down a hill and my friend told me, don't use the brake, it will be fun. So I go down and hit an uneven piece of sidewalk, which sends me flying forward. From that, I scraped both my elbows and knees. After that, I was limping for a few weeks. I still have a scar on my right knee. I was outside playing with my roller skates I had just received for my birthday. My mom said to come outside for the night. Inside for the night. My brother and I asked for 5 more minutes. My 7-year-old mind thought I needed a ramp. So I went to the backyard to get the slide. I went down full force and broke my finger. It was my middle finger, so when I flipped the bird, it's tilted to the right a little bit. I was riding a bike with my dad to pick up my sister from school, but then I ran into the side of the car and fell on the side of my face, scarred a spot under my nose, and sprained my arm. My worst boo-boo. When I was 4 or 5, I was at the beach and saw a big gray patch on the ground, which was a stingray. I sat on it, then I sat on really sharp pieces of coral and cut open my leg muscle. Ouch! When I was 10, I was playing tag and I was running when I collided with another person. I tripped and broke my arm on the wall. Wow, these are all just so violent, painful things. An accident doesn't have to be painful. I mean, emotionally it can be. When I was 5, I played in my parents' bed, jumping around. I tried to jump on my sister, but missed, and hit the bedside cabinet in the corner, missed my eye by nearly an inch. I could have been blind in my right eye. Luckily, I'm not. Something terrible that happened to me was when I was like 1 or 2, I don't know, but I liked to bite my dog's nose. She was a Doberman. And then one day, she just thought, no, I can't take this anymore, and she bit back. I went with my friend to a movie, and he said that he was going to be late. When I arrived, I forgot that he was going to be late, and my phone was dead, so I could not call him. I thought he was inside, so I ran inside. After the movie, I went outside, and my mom was there crying because she was looking for me for 2 hours. I was not a smart kid. I once jumped out of a 1st floor window into a trampoline. My knees buckled, my chin landed onto my knee at full force, causing some horrific bruising, and I chipped 3 teeth. The bad thing is, it wasn't even that long ago. Ouch. Alright, so I was 3 years old and I was in my living room watching Mary Poppins. I remember everything clearly because I tried to rewind the VCR tape to the chimney sweep scene, but the electric tape rewinder wasn't working. I tried to pull out the cord, but to no avail, and then decided to grab the cord with my teeth to pull it out. I resulted with an unprotected outlet zapping 120 volts of energy into my face, burning a hole the size of a nickel through my face. I had to wear a pair of braces with tusks for 3 years called an appliance until the skin tissue regrew around my lip. I decided to put my finger into a pencil sharpener and tried sharpening my fingernail. Don't ask me how the heck I came up with that idea. I broke my foot in a kiddie pool. I was 4 and my dad cut a watermelon and there watermelon juice everywhere and I slipped and fell and cut my cheek open. Your cheek? So I was 6 and I just figured out what a box knife was. So I went to the garage and started cutting boxes. The knife slipped from the box and stabbed my left arm. The blade went through and hit my other part of the bone and I started bleeding profusely and went to the hospital. This is all cringeworthy. I was 10 and I was hit by a car. Nothing broke, but I hurt my ankle badly. It was ripped open from the tire scraping it. That all happened because I wanted to run away from my bro and didn't look for any oncoming cars. My biggest accident is when I went to the bathroom and saw a girl naked. I quickly closed the door and went running really fast. I would count that as an accomplishment. My brother managed to impale his skull with a bamboo stick when he was 7 by falling off the trampoline. To this day, though I watched it happen, I have no idea how he managed it. We went to the hospital and they had to glue his head back together. He's fine now though. Not emotionally. This one time I was running at my dryland practice and I decided to jump on the bleachers and I tripped and cut off a part of my ear. But don't worry, it got stitches and they somewhat fixed it. Oh, that stinks, just somewhat. They're probably still better than my ears. I was on the monkey bars with my friends and we had to jump and grab on, so I did it and I got my arm stuck and broke 2 bones and the principal walked me to my house. My biggest accident was when I wanted my cousin to go with me to the farm and then he started chasing me. I ended up cutting my right cheek with a sharp metal corner that was exposed from supporting a window cover. We rushed to the hospital and I had to get stitches. Now I have a scar there and now people question it. My biggest accident was when I was going to bathe my rabbit, but I didn't know the boiler was broken and I put my wrists under the tap and the boiling water burned most of the skin off. Stung a lot for nearly a week. My mom got me a shirt saying official shirt, but the R was faded, but my mom didn't realize it, so she let me wear it to school. So that day I got sent to the principal's office for having no idea why I got detention with me, still not knowing what I had done. Then I realized while I was washing my hands after using the bathroom that my shirt said official. I was 10 and I rode my bike off a cliff and the cliff was like 2 or 3 feet high. Then I got run over by a car, scraped half my face and lost about 1 inch of skin on my knee. My biggest accident ever was when I dropped my guinea pig about 4 feet above the ground. She started limping and I was so sorry. I still am. I know this is late, but the worst I ever hurt myself and the biggest FMO moment for me was when the time I got to the gymnastics and dislocated my elbow. You would think I did some sort of flip or so, etching on the bars, but no, I was standing up, I was sitting down, and I tucked my knees under me. And then when I tried to get up, my leg twitched, hitting my elbow, dislocating it. Yep, beware of standing up, it's so dangerous. What? My biggest accident was when I was playing badminton and I ran into a wall so hard I cut my forehead, but due to the impact, I started throwing up and I went home from school and the doctor had to come into my house and check me over and they said I had a mild concussion, that I had a huge band-aid around my head. I didn't need stitches, but I don't play badminton now. I don't blame you. When I was, 8 or 9, I went over to my best friend's house and we were playing in the front yard. It was so cold, I put my arms in my jacket. It was zipped up, and then I tripped. I fell right on my face and my nose started bleeding. My 2 front teeth are still completely crooked. My biggest accident was probably the time when me and my family were playing baseball and right as I swung the bat, my 3-year-old brother ran in front of me and I hit him in the head with the bat. I think he went to the hospital, but I don't really remember. Oh my gosh, that's terrifying. Okay, Matthias, your story brings back some pretty disturbing memories. Oh no. So I was in the 3rd grade when I received a package of candy for getting a good score on a test. The candy was a package of Nerds, so I shoved the contents of the small package into my mouth and bit downwards. It wasn't long until I realized I completely missed the candy. However, I did hit my tongue, and there was quite a clean cut about halfway through. Don't worry though, the lazy quack of a nurse said tongues heal fast, and then I need nothing more than just to let it rest. I was in for a nice 3 months of pain. She must not have realized how deep it was. When I was a junior in high school, I was at football practice. After we did a lineman drill, I was getting up and then a 320 pound lineman, not 220, 320, fell on my arm at a 90-degree angle and he severely broke my wrist and a couple of my fingers. Worst part was that it was my right hand and unfortunately I am right-handed. But everything is okay now. I was about 5 or 6, I was riding my bike and rode into a cactus. When I was about 4 or 5, I was with my father and my siblings at the time playing mini golf. There was a set of wooden stairs going up to the next hole and I ended up tripping up the stairs with my lip getting caught on part of the wooden stair that had broken off. The middle of my bottom lip was sliced clean off. Now I have a permanent missing chunk of my bottom lip. Oh dang, that's hardcore, yo. Just say it's like a battle wound, I don't know. I was riding my bike and I was turning my wheel back and forth and I was about 6. I fell face first into the road and my tooth went through my lip and I had to go to the ER to get my tooth out of my lip. 45 seconds in, you got it lucky. Back when I fell out of a window, I did land in grass, but my head hit a rock, plus a chunk of my hair was pulled out. I ended up getting internal head bleeding and was stuck in the hospital for a month. To this day, you can still see that cut my head open to stop the bleeding or else I could have died. It is bald there because I kept picking at it. I fell when I was in 2nd grade when I fell from a 2-story window. Now I have a really bad back pain. Classic case of Wii bowling without a wrist strap. That's right, I broke a TV with a Wiimote. Luckily the TV had a warranty. Good God though. I think that's the first accident that wasn't painful. I mean, it was emotionally painful. I was dancing in the shower and you cut my foot on the edge of the water faucet. No, I didn't. I accidentally threw a sledgehammer at my sister's back. That was my biggest accident. How is that an accident? You threw it. When I was in 3rd grade, my mom brought me brand new boat shoes and I decided to take them to school for gym class. I was running until my feet leaned a little and since the shoes aren't stable, I fell and broke my ankles bad. The doctors had to put screws in 3 different parts. Ouch. My biggest accident was when I was carrying my entire family's electronic devices when I was walking into the kitchen and I tripped and dropped them in the sink, which was filled to the top with water. How? How did that happen? How? When I was 5, I was climbing a tree and I was really high up. I placed my hand conveniently where a bee was landing. The bee landed on my hand and I freaked out. I let go by accident and was about to fall off the tree, but instead I held on and slid down the tree. So I got a huge cut that was kind of deep that started from the bottom of my stomach all the way up to my chest. Now if I take off my shirt, you can see a little scar that you barely see on my stomach. When I was little, I ran and fell on my face. Thumbs up if you did that too, because I'm pretty sure everyone did it. I rolled over a wasp and got stung and peed my pants. Through the protector. What protector? What are you talking about? I shot myself in the hand and I had a bullet in it. All right, guys, now it is time for me to share my biggest accident. However, if you're new on this channel, please subscribe so that I'm just not embarrassing myself for no reason, okay? So subscribe if you're new here. My biggest accident, it was in high school, okay? And I liked altering clothes. So I would like rip off the jeans pocket of my shorts and then I would sew on another like fabric. So it was kind of cool. It was kind of unique clothing, right? And people really liked it. And it, you know, all the girls looked at my butt that way. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I don't know, maybe they did. Anyways, what happened was I didn't sew it on right or something happened. And when I was getting up out of the desk, my pocket just totally got caught and it just ripped off the back of my pants. So the entire rest of the day, I had a hole on my butt about that big for the rest of the day at school. Just everyone could see my boxers. The girls were really looking at my butt then. Remember, the question of the day for a future episode is, what is your weirdest dream ever? And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a like and maybe check out the last one or the next one. All right, guys, high five.